Today, I'm talking about unleashing the divine feminine to thrive in our motherhood. You can check out all the show notes at daniellefoster.com/blog/episode 34, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. So, what is the divine feminine? The divine feminine is the ancient connection to the sacredness of womanhood and all that it stands for. The feminine is a strong force that is intuitively guided and moves in flow with natural rhythms, including time to rest, the time to play and create, the time for hunting and being the warrior. The feminine knows herself deeply and she is open to her vulnerabilities. So it really grates on my nerves when I see the divine feminine paraded as some fragile, pretty state of flowers and softness, and it turns women off claiming their feminine energy as that can feel icky and not resonating with them. And as a new mum who was just yearning to unleash that wild feminine energy that I had been suppressing to fit into this masculine driven society, I couldn't find that. I craved the space that supported this unleashing without judgment. I wanted to talk about things deeper. I had my toddler and a breastfeeding baby in tow. I needed this to be a safe and accepting space for them too. And back then, I just couldn't find a space that allowed me to be there in my raw motherhood. So I started my own in my backyard. And then I expanded into hiring spaces and grew in my training in the field of holding space for women. And it's very clear that we need safe spaces for women to discuss the raw realities of birth, of bleeding, of sex, and the intricacies of the female body and its hormonal cascades. In all things, in all people, there is masculine and feminine energy, and to be holistically balanced, we need to nourish each energy. The yin and the yang, the left and the right, the creative and emotionally powered, and the rational and measured approach. We rise united when both are supported to thrive without suppressing the strengths of the other. I see them as two strands that dance in and out of each other. Like DNA, they are a part of our energetic blueprint. We flow between their dominance depending on the call of the moment. We're not all going to have the same amounts of each. We're all individual, and when we align with our individual balance, we find home within ourselves and within our flow, within our relations, our dualities outside of self with others, and internal dualities of consciousness self meeting our unconscious selves. When we have accepted our individual state of masculine and feminine energies alignment, you feel satisfied and at peace, and life flows with ease. The important thing is that it doesn't look the same for everyone. So many women that I've worked with have suppressed their divine feminine selves. They feel ashamed to be confident. They feel uncomfortable with self-love, with their bodies, with their sex, with their emotions, and with their intuitive power. They've suppressed resentment and their dissatisfaction until it spills out in a rage in uncontrolled moments. Remember, like losing your shit and then being dismissed as the hysterical woman, dismissing yourself as the hysterical woman. It's just more shame and a cycle of more masking that inner rage. When you claim power for yourself as an empowered and strengthened woman in your own right, without dismissing the power of your fellow men, you ignite a force of balance. So, how do we connect with our divine feminine? First point, I suggest spending time in nature. When you connect to your divine feminine, you're creating a sacred bond with the earth, our mother of all creation. All things in this world are birthed into being. The feminine connection is the strongest one in nature. It is the source of all power. Sink your bare feet into the earth. Run your hands through her natural flowing waters. Immerse yourself with her beauty and just take time to be. This is the best grounding experience that you can take part in, and our feminine souls crave this connection to feel in sync with the world, her body that gives itself over to us. Next is cycle awareness. Observe the cycles of nature, the sun, the seasons, your menstrual cycle, and the lunar cycle. Look up the moon and revel in her beauty. Acknowledge her changes, her ebb and her flow. Correlate her movements through the constellations against your own flow. How do they relate? How do you see any patterns? How does the moon cycle affect your own rhythms and emotion? Next is taking time for rest and quiet retreat to know yourself deeply. Make time to be alone, time to simply be without expectations, time for contemplation, journaling your desires. Deep self awareness comes from knowing your triggers, knowing your stories, and your conditioning, where they've come from, but also by knowing your values, your earth mission, your ambitions, and that ever changing purpose. So create a sacred sanctuary to be at peace with yourself. No matter how small a space you may have to work with, you can create a retreat on your bedside table if that's all you've got. A salt lamp can shift the mood, and you can keep your beautiful treasures within your sight. You can hang up art that makes your soul sing, play soft music that reaches your heart. Create an altar wherever you go. Next is body love and acceptance. Lavish your body and mind and soul in a ritual of self-love and care. Spend time in your sanctuary. Touch your body, massaging succulent oils into your skin. Drink beautiful teas. Read mind-nourishing books and relax in your magnesium salt bath and light a candle. Do it for you. Take this time to enjoy your body and this rest and love that you have for yourself and what you have been able to, your body has held you through so much. And whilst this kind of luscious body love is so nourishing, we must also be mindful to take care of our basic human needs, correcting any nutritional deficiencies, eating a balanced diet of the foods of the rainbow, lots of plant foods, and lots of water. The feminine is the source of receiving and holding a reserve of energy. She is a vessel for new growth and creating life. We need to fuel that. Trust your intuition. Play with your intuition and notice when it speaks to you daily. Get yourself an oracle deck that you love. Explore the depths of your higher self. You can tune into your inner messages of guidance. Practice trusting that gut feeling and push the boundaries of your own personal challenges to expand and grow your infinite possibilities. Your intuition expands when you follow it. Next is mindful movement. Feel strong in your bodies, in your minds, and in your hearts. Feel into your edges and feel the stability of your feet on the ground when you dance, when you run, when you stretch. Feel your strength grow when you practice yoga or lifting heavy things. Surrender to your flow in your sex, in the way that you move your hips when you walk with a sway. And the next is creativity and joy. Have fun in your life and find your way of creativity. I never thought that I was creative until a friend pointed out the way that I meditate through journeys, the way that I write about my expression of this life. I've always thought you had to be really good at drawing or really good at art or something like that to be considered creative. But what is your form of creativity? And how do you like to express yourself? When we unleash our divine feminine energy, we align with the energy of receiving. of nurturing, of grounded presence, and intuitive knowing. It forms a deep connection with self, and that is imperative for connecting with others. So, in order to thrive in our motherhood, we need to unleash the ties to the patriarchal expectations that keep us burning out in that masculine task force driven energy. It's necessary at times. We call on our rhythm, our boundaries, our values, and our ambitions to keep us striving and attentive as the divine masculine calls. But let's not forget the graceful power that we gain from embracing our feminine strengths.